everyone. Today we will understand the concept of objective correlative. So the term was first coined by the American painter and poet Washington Allston and was introduced by T.S. Eliot, because we often think that T.S. Eliot is the first one to use the term objective correlative, but it's not so. It was first used by Washington Allston rather casually and T.S. Eliot reintroduced it very casually into his essay Hamlet and His Problems 1919. The theory of the objective correlative as it relates to literature was largely developed through the writings of the poet and literary critic T.S. Eliot, who is associated with the literary group called the New Critics. Helping define the objective correlative, Eliot's essay, Hamlet and His Problems, republished in his book, The Sacred Wood, Essays on Poetry and Criticism, discusses his view of Shakespeare's incomplete developments of Hamlet's emotion in the play Hamlet. So if Hamlet is going through so much turmoil, he wants a closure. He wants to revenge his father's death. He cannot accept the fact that his uncle has killed his father and married his mother. So it's a very difficult time, very troubled time for Hamlet. So Eliot again gives an example of a more successful play, Macbeth. Eliot uses Lady Macbeth's state of mind as an example of the successful objective correlative. Because what happens to Lady Macbeth is that when she is angry, when she is angry, she is giving images. She is talking about her hands. She says, all the perfume of Arabia cannot sweeten this little hand. That kind of emotions are not seen anywhere in Hamlet. Eliot uses Lady Macbeth's state of mind as an example of the successful objective correlative. The artistic inevitability lies in the complete adequacy of the external to the emotion as a contrast to Hamlet. So what is the importance of objective correlative? What actually is objective correlative? So the only way of expressing emotions in the form of art is by finding an objective correlative. Because in art it's not real. So you have to create a kind of real environment, and for that you have to have things that are relating to the emotions. In other words, a set of objects, a situation, a chain of events which shall be the formula of the particular emotion, such that when the external facts which must terminate in sensory experience are given, the emotion is immediately evoked. So it is the emotion that you want to feel, and the same emotions are lacking somewhere in Hamlet. That is Eliot's perspective, and that is not only in the character of Hamlet, but if you go on to read the whole play, you will realize that Ophelia's emotions are also not very well developed in the play, nor the mother's emotions are very clear, how she feels for the son and how she feels how things are turning up. She is not giving any valid answers or justifications for her course of action. So in many terms there is a lack of objective correlative in the play Hamlet, and that's why perhaps Eliot says that Hamlet is an artistic failure. It's rather debatable that Hamlet is an artistic failure or not, but this is T.S. Eliot's point of view. Thank you.